everybody. This is Calvin Waite. I trade crypto for a living. I'm not a registered or licensed financial advisor, planner, or broker, so nothing on this channel should be taken as a recommendation to buy or sell. I also trade all of these things, so I probably have a vested interest in there. But there's plenty of entertainment value and lots of education, so this will be awesome. For those of you who didn't know, my subscription channel is live. So look at the link in the description over at cryptoinfluencers.com and you can see how I make all of my trades and what I do and what I think about everything. This channel is for more hypothetical and looking at trends, and the other one is for actual trading, so you might be interested in that. All right. Wow, what a day. What a day. You know, it's unbelievable. When you're looking at all these trends and all of these things, it all comes down to a matter of odds. And what is the greater than 50% chance that things will happen? Well, sometimes the less than 50% chance happens, and it can happen with ferocity. So we're going to talk through every little detail and kind of look and see, just analyze the daylights out of this like we always do on this channel. So buckle up, we'll get going on that. Just as a reminder, I'm at cryptoinfluencers.com. My free channel's here, the paid channel is here, and I've been prepping our pro channel to buckle up. We've been kind of evaluating risk, watching to see what kind of downside we might be up against, looked at all kinds of different levels, and even looked at total exposure and looked at where the exposure is across an entire portfolio. And for those who were a little low, needed to move up. So we've been talking about that the past few days, and boy, was that a good thing. This was quite a move. First of all, I'm going to pull up the S&P. S&P had a monstrous red candle. One of the biggest we've seen. Pretty huge. We broke below our 50, broke below our ascending support here, and closed below the 200 and the 100. Huge thing. Unbelievable. We're still finding support on the top of this line, and from a weekly standpoint, we're still in decent shape. So on the weekly, nothing is broken. But man, it would have been nice to stay above the 20 or the 50. Just all kind of happened at once, man. That was pretty intense there for a while. So S&P's dropping, but we still have a place where there could be support here, which I expect there to be. We will reevaluate if data comes in differently. The daily's not looking as healthy though. We were looking a little better before we made a very obvious swing high right here. This swing high is definitely lower than the swing high here. So we now have an official lower high. We still have higher lows in the books, but we'll give this some time and we'll see how it all plays out. And now let's look at Bitcoin. First of all, we're going to zoom in on it. We're going to go to the 1 minute chart and really get some information here. I'm actually going to move my volume down to a different, let's move it to a new pane below. That way it won't be in the way of our candles and we can see things a little bit more clearly. And then, let's see, I wish I could like collapse this without screwing anything up. This is kind of the best I can do, so. All right, now let's pop in our S&P and then let's line up our day. So our day ends at 21. So it goes from 21. This is stock market close. So you can see what happened after the stock market close. The fuel behind this move was definitely driven by US stock market. And then let's match this up so that we start at 1430, which is our US market open. And this is what we had today. So Bitcoin dropped a little bit earlier, and by about within the first half, so about the end of our first third of our trading session, we had a massive volume candle, massive right here, 1645. This candle was 2,671 Bitcoin. So this was our first indication that things are going down. And at this point, we were still trading at 21,500. So big move. Not sure what's to come. Had another selling climax right here, and this lines up with a drop in the S&P. This was probably, yeah, this was one of our highest volume candles on the S&P through the day. And then short recovery, and we were back at it. And as the stock market kind of accelerated into the drop, Bitcoin had another massive candle. This one was 3,500 Bitcoin dropped at once. So huge move. And during this selling climax, I was chatting with, I was kind of busy all day, so I wasn't able to really watch this play by play, but I kind of mentioned that I was looking for that selling climax, because the selling climax comes and it's usually pretty unmistakable when you kind of see things get really steep. This one could have been a selling climax. It would have been, had we been watching this, it could have been it. Very, very high volume in a very short period of time. But I just could tell that it wasn't. And when we had this one, I said, I think we're getting close. Probably one more push to the downside and we'll get there. So we did bounce up a bit, and then we came down and had this final high volume right here. 3,300, and 3 minutes later I said, guys, I think that was it. And it was it. That was pretty much our major highest volume for the rest of the day. So things spiraled pretty hard, and it was Bitcoin following along with the S&P. But now let's look and see where that puts us. So I love to look at things on a larger time frame to kind of see where this matches. So we've talked about matching, like mirroring moves, right? So this move here mirrors with this move here. These two are obviously mirrored really close. We had a big surprise to the upside here. It was mirrored by actually both of these. Both of these got us back to the base again. And I said that the next big surprise could probably be to the upside. And then the caveat was, well, we have seen this move here. And there has been no kind of response to this yet. And today might have been it. Like, to be honest with you, this is very likely because our whole market is bullish. We're shifting upwards to the right. And this giant shakeout is matching some of this insanity over here. Above, it was about the 100-day moving average that we really pulled this strong move. And then the rest of these have a mirror. Well, we don't really have a mirror for this, except for this. And it pulled us right back down to the 100. So this feels like finality to me. This feels like we've opened the book here and we've closed the book here. And now we're going to kind of move on to a new situation. Well, why, it's not just this chart that's saying that. We've been talking about all these ranges, all these levels of support all in through here. And you can see that the bulk of our trading action, especially any kind of sustained resistance and support areas, right down in the bottom of this section here. And so if you kind of look to the right, my cursor is right at the 200-day moving average. That's this baseline. And then there's a whole nother section up here of resistance and support here. That lines up perfectly with where we are right now. We're almost there. If we have any more downside, it'll be small candles, and it'll likely the 200-day is probably going to carry us. So that's what I'm really expecting. I really feel like that's the R greater than 50% scenario. So we have we have done an amazing job consolidating all the way through here, and we've had a higher consolidation, and we're coming back for some kind of support, and we are doing that right now. And I can't even believe it, but my giant Bitcoin short that I had carried for months and months, which I still have a huge amount of, it's finally in the green. So what do you know? I'm all about the patient trading, keeping risk in check, but super patient. I never thought I'd make money off of that short. But anyway, I have some longs that are upside down, very, obviously, but the longs are about to get their payday. So I'm happy to wrap up my shorts. I've closed most of my shorts. I think I have 2 left, and then I'll be looking for nothing but upside. So it's all a balance. Our market closes in 6 minutes, by the way. So I'm doing this just right before close. It looks like we're going to hold the 100, which is a very, very good place to start. The problem with this candle is that we are closing with the majority of the candle closest to our bottom. So we have a small candle, larger candle, biggest candle. We don't see a sign of we don't see a reduction in intensity. We're showing an increase in intensity. That can either create a long wick the next day, or it can create a bigger candle. So this could, I think it's smaller than 50%, but we have to be prepared for the scenario that there is potentially another downside. I think the greater than 50% chance, though, is that we're here. And I'll show you several other charts that kind of corroborate that. But on the daily, this is all we're going to get today. And tomorrow, if we have anything, it'll be probably pretty short-lived. Let's go look at some of these other levels that we had watched before. This used to be our trading range after our first initial major selling climax right here. And unbelievably, the top of this level was this support here. And yesterday we touched it briefly. So this became an important level where we've had resistance and support. The minute we started slipping, it just collapsed. And so this is kind of a consequence of losing this support level. But to be honest with you, would you rather that we found a weak support off of this and came up to about here and then showed more weakness? Like, this would be a very long, drawn out way of flushing out the bulls. This flushes out the bulls immediately. This kind of move here will actually get us to a healthier level faster. So I'm actually not upset by this. And one other thing to look at on this particular chart is now I've got to flip. Let me move my volume up and hide it. And now let me bring back my RSI. Do you remember that bearish divergence we were talking about for all those months? We kept putting in these higher highs, higher and higher and higher highs, all the way up to here, and we had lower RSI, lower RSI, lower, lower, lower. So our RSI was falling down. Well, how do you resolve bearish divergence? You've got to get it to match. Either you blow things out of the water and you go way high, you go parabolic, which is not going to be healthy, and you get a new higher high on the RSI, or you make the RSI match. Today's candle is doing that. So we finally have our bearish divergence resolved. So that means the bears have got what they need. We have a lower low coming in through here. This new lower low matches perfectly with our RSI creating lower lows. So we are getting there. And in fact, if we close in 3 minutes and our RSI is currently 29, we are officially oversold. So at 30 is the oversold level. Last time we were there was FTX. We haven't had an oversold till then. And prior to that, let's see, we had a couple of little attempts. This one barely made it in. Yeah, just by a fraction. So we had a couple of these moves, pretty strong move to get us there. So a couple. This ended up being a bullish divergence because price was dropping and RSI was actually slightly strengthening from the very bottom. So that was kind of, indicative of things moving up a little bit. But yeah, it wasn't. We haven't seen these numbers since our major drops. So this is pretty awesome. If the market has shifted, which it has, we have a higher high. Like in the macro scheme of things, we have lower highs, lower highs. This is an obvious higher high. This will most likely be a higher low than this. Our entire market is about ready to go full bull. It's gonna be awesome. I'm actually really excited about this drop. I know I'm crazy. But this is what we're waiting for. This will get us there. So we've avoided the weak situation where we would have had a kind of a head and shoulders and that type of thing. We've resolved our bearish divergence. Our next move, even flat, will start raising up our RSI and things will start getting in line again. So our chart is finally looking halfway normal again. So I'm loving it. I'm loving this stuff. So we're doing exactly what we need to kind of get us through there. We're shaking out the last of the all the bears that are still bearish. They're all rejoicing until we start showing our next leg up, and then we're going to start moving up onto different levels. Okay, now let's go look at this. Let's look at the weekly. Do you remember our falling wedge we watched forever and ever and ever? And even yesterday, we talked about how it's very unusual for us to touch twice on the support side of a falling wedge. And we found just that one example with Ethereum where we touched it like 3 or 4 times. It was just unbelievable that we kept touching it like that. Well, look at this. I mean, this is picture perfect. Our number couldn't be more exact. Our low today, at least I'm looking at KuCoin, $20,025. Our blue line, like you can't even make this stuff up. I mean, look how close that is. The number is 20,061. We just touched it by $30, and we did the same thing here. Our low here was 21,441, and our line was really close to 21,499. So this was $50 below. $30 below here, $50 below here. Like this is a entry point dream right here. This is phenomenal. Yeah. Anyway, so why would we be stopping at this point? Like we dropped straight down. Like look at this 5-minute chart. We were just going along all nice and we absolutely dropped like a rock. And where are we finding our support? It is exactly where we would have hoped to find support. So the weekly still has 3 days to go, but I would bet good money that this recovers to 21,000 by the end of the week. We've already hit support on the top of this, and it's so close to the 20 that technical analysts would consider that a support off the 20. So it looks pretty good. I mean, we're obviously not out of the woods. These are getting bigger. These weeks are accelerating, and that does not, show weakness. The only thing that shows weakness is that we're just getting really oversold. So RSI just barely closed. The official close is 29.32. Let's see, what was this one? 29.23, 29.91. So we're right there. We're like right on the line of the RSI being in oversold territory. So there are many people that will be looking for opportunities right in here. So I'm the kind of trader that I like to see something. You know what I mean? I'm not going to just buy the bottom of a knife like this. But man, there's a lot of cases to say that we got exactly what we were looking for. We needed a pullback of some kind, and we've touched support exactly where we want. We hit 20,000. We hit the 100. We have a really beautiful handoff from resistance to support on the top of our falling wedge. Like, we have everything we need. And then when you zoom out and you're looking at this from a long-term standpoint, you know, coming off the bottom of our bear markets, 2015 was the one that this is most like, because we rejected off of the 50 week and we pulled back a bit, and then we climbed up, and then here comes our bull market. So this is what I would expect. We needed some kind of retest, some kind of pullback. We've rejected off of the 50. If we can start slowing down and start, moving around for another leg up, we are now defining our next higher low. So over the next few weeks, if we get the structure that we need to start moving back up into this upper range, it's going to be beautiful. Our 50 is falling really nice. This will help. So our next 50 should be around 23,000 or lower, and every week this baby's going to be ticking down until it'll be pretty easy to cross. And man, closing above this 50 is going to be phenomenal. There's a lot of reason to be excited. So those are some of the things. Now, here's something else. I wanted to show you this. So you all know that I have my little matcher, and sometimes I use it. A lot of times it's not very informative. In fact, through this entire thing, it's been almost no help, because the the move was so weird. Bitcoin's never done this before. We've never moved up so wacky without a break. Had kind of a surprise to the downside, surprise to the upside. Now we're selling off pretty hard. We barely have our close. And so I was just putting in the data to update the matcher. Our close ended up being 2361.1. So let me put that in, 2361.1. And look at this. So I'm going to update this with our new day. And look what we have here. This is a beautiful match. This is the best match we've seen in months, probably 3 months or more. Look at this chart. It looks amazing, doesn't it? We have all the emotions. All the emotions are the same. We have a move to the upside. We have a very visible top. We have a slight move to the downside, totally right here. And then we have a strong move where we ended up with a higher high. The higher high is the emotional thing that I was looking for in some of the scenarios where I found a match. We have a situation where we've come up at a decent amount. In this case, it was from $10 to 12.5 or something. So this is about a 25% gain. Well, from 18.7 to 23 or whatever, we're in the same ballpark, and we eventually made a 33% gain, and this is 30%. So the emotions are the same, and the percentages are really tight right here. And we had kind of a little jog after here. We had a little bit of strength, just a little bit of strength, and then we've started to sell off, and things started accelerating. And at the bottom of our acceleration is where I'm expecting things to start changing. We're oversold right now. We're oversold in the beginning of our new bull market cycle. It's so perfect. I mean, you can't ask for a better buy-in, man. This is so good. And then what happened? A smaller candle to kind of show that momentum is waning, and then a move up. And it took some time, but we're steadily growing and building up strength. And once we overcome our high, we're off to the races. That's where we're going to be taking off. This is only 11% variance, which is the closest we've seen. So this is a realistic potential match to what we may experience. So that can benefit our opinions a little bit. But even from a market structure, I've always felt like there was less downside than upside, and I think we're catching ourselves on the right levels of support throughout this thing. The best way to the best turnarounds, like the best we'll call them selling climaxes, that kind of the selling is done. We had our final vomit of all of our hope and dreams. We got to get all that out of our system. We have this huge selling climax, and that defines a bottom. And so when we have a giant red candle like this, it flushes out all the hopium and all of that, and prepares us for a healthy, strong move to the upside. And so we've done exactly that. We still have, tomorrow. Nobody knows what will happen tomorrow, but I doubt it'll be as intense as this. If we have a day that drops us to 17.5, well, then I'm going to throw up my hands, But I'm betting that we're going to start showing a decrease in intensity, and we're going to start slowly building from here because we've done everything we need to. We have a sharp drop to the bottom. If on Sunday night, so this is 3 days from now, if our candle body is anywhere above 20,000, this is going to be a beautiful launching place. And if by chance we pull up and find support on this, which is very likely, 20,900 is probably the magic number. Any kind of the longer this wick can get, even better. It's only gonna make this look even better. So just wanted to kind of let you know how I'm reading this. We definitely have seen some downside. We are now showing the first signs of, hey, the bull market is right around the corner, and now we have a pullback. This is the buying point. This is what I was hoping for way back when. I just didn't think we'd get there. I was shorting down in here because this was so insane, and I definitely undershot the excitement in our market, and now we're finally getting that pullback that I was looking for way back here, and I was looking for it for a long time, and we got all the way up into our death cross, and I was like, holy cow, when this goes, it's really gonna go, and this move kind of proves it. The people, once the chart looks right, we're gonna go. I mean, we kind of pulled up off of an ugly situation. We didn't know if this was resistance. 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 And we just went through all of it. And so it was really ugly, really, really overdone. So the bulls were just hungry. They were starving. And now we're getting a pullback. Well, let me tell you, if we actually get a healthy bottom where it's clear that our new bottom is now higher than this, we have a nice consolidation and we start moving back up into higher ranges. Yeah, that bull's gonna be like, it's like it's never eaten before in its life. It's gonna fly, and that is what we're waiting for. So yeah, we got a wild day. I know there's news and whatever coming out, and we'll be impacted by the S&P and everything, but as far as a healthy Bitcoin chart, this is starting to look like it. So at some point here, we're going to decrease in our downward intensity, and we will find a higher low, and we're going to be off to the races. So if you can be patient, and if I can be patient, there's a lot of green days ahead. The macro chart just looks unbelievable. Like, just looking at a monthly chart, it looks amazing. We've come down off of a bear market. We're choppy. Once we get our feet under us, boom, we're going. Same thing here. This one we got overexcited. There was kind of no stop. But same thing here. We had a pretty rough downturn. Things got choppy. Things were wild. But once we got our structure up, boom, bull market. So this doesn't even look that bad. You know what I mean? like we've got a beautiful handoff from resistance here to support potentially. I mean, this is 22 more days to go. So we have a long ways before we start buttoning up our monthly candle, but everything here just looks really fine. This looks like a turnaround to me. And so we've got this is our reversal candle. This gave us indication that March was probably going to be a red candle. But as long as we can stay above this midpoint, which really is 20,000, this is our 2017 all-time high right up here. This is, if we stay above this, we're ready to rock and roll. Like April could be the opposite of this, and then we can break our 50 month, man, we could be rocking. So I'm more excited after this move because it's gotten our chart in the right place. So if you guys have, keep your liquidity and make sure that your risk is managed or whatever, there are some good days ahead. So that's the way I'm reading this. All right, I will let you go with that, and I will catch you all tomorrow. Thanks for making it to the end of my video. Make sure you keep those trades small. Don't force a trade. Don't get impatient. And if you want to see how all this works, please come over and check me out on the subscription channel at cryptoinfluencers.com. Again, the link is in the description.